Hey, it's what you got for me.
Durag Diaries, yo, what's good, people? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Spurs at the Moment. Hey, it's been a while. It's been a while since we brought back this show, Spur at the Moment. Where we talk about everything, Tottenham, everything that's going on, you know, away from transfers. This one's away from transfers. We covered all the transfers in Tottenham Transfer Show. Now, welcome to Spurs at the Moment, where we just cover Spurs news and what's going on in the world of Spurs. And what we do know is Spurs at the moment, Levy has resigned or stepped down, whichever way you want to put it. He has left Tottenham, and there is a new horizon. It's a new dawn. It's a new day. It's a new life. You know, one of them ones. It really is one of them ones. Woke up today in a damn good mood. Away from that, TEL has been omitted from the Champions League squad. So he is no longer going to be taking part in any Champions League games for us. At least up until January, until there would be a revised squad in which there's a few players returning from injury. So whether he makes that revised squad, a lot of questions to be asked. And then away from that, just going to be looking into some of the different lineups that we could set up with going into these games. You know, the next couple months, how is the team going to look? What are the different teams we can set up? What is our squad depth looking like? And just going into all of that stuff. Before we do any of that, though, make sure you are liking the video. We're doing some housekeeping, you know what I mean? Smash the like on your way in. It don't take a second. It don't cost you a thing. Away from that, make sure you are subscribed to the channel because we're on the road to 5K. I need your help and your support to help us get there. Trying to push till the end of the month, get that 5K barrier. We've been pushing it for a while now, but hopefully you guys are making sure you're subbing up. And then again, away from that, we also have memberships available. Yeah. So become a delinquent, become a descendant. Tap the link in the pinned comment in the chat right now. Yeah. Join the Royal Navy. Get that done. Become a member of the channel. Get some exclusive access to new content that's coming out. And then last but not the very least, this video and my content is now currently sponsored by Match Bingo. Make sure you guys are scanning the QR code right here to show your support and get involved in the Match Bingo games. Last night, they had cards available as well as across the weekend and throughout this international break, special offers available. Get involved, scan the QR code, use promo code DRD to get a 200% depository bonus when you join the app. Make sure you get that done. Gamble responsibly, 18 plus only. And as they say, when the fun stops, stop. But look, people, let's talk a little bit more about this Daniel Levy stuff. Let's talk a little bit more about this Daniel Levy stuff because Daniel Levy has left. What? Oh, crap. Sorry. Didn't mean to run that ad twice. Didn't mean to run that twice. My bad. But Daniel Levy leaving Tottenham, I think a lot of people... First of all, I'd like to know what everyone's thoughts in the comments are because yesterday was the initial reaction, you know, everybody just, wow, what's going on? Daniel's gone. Oh, yeah, what? You know, everybody's just shocked. Everybody's still in shock. Everybody's just, you know, reacting to the news. Understandably. Man's all telling me, I don't care what your thoughts are on my beard. Yeah, my beard's more than healthy. I chain brushed it this morning. I want to know your thoughts on Daniel Levy and Spurs, blood. Don't tell me cut the split ends of your beard like you're my barber or you're my salon. What's going on over here? Don't worry about another man's beard or their split ends. I just want to know your thoughts on Daniel Levy leaving Spurs right now. But big up to Nems in the chat. Man like Nems AFC, hi Durag Diaries. Big up to my guy Ghosted. Jords, big up my bro. New era for us, man. It's a new Spurs order. Trust me. Smash the likes on the way in, people. How are you doing, Jords? I'm all right, man. I'm all right. I'm better than all right, man. I'm fly right now. Let's just say that. I'm fly right now. Man's feeling good. You know, like I said, it's a new Spurs order. And it's the only thing to be happy about. We Durag delusions in full effect now. Bring that Qatari bread. You're not Kengiz, Ghost. You're not Kengiz. You can't come with those ones there. Only Kengiz can drop that line. Only Kengiz can drop that line. And even then, he said he handed that one back. He handed that one back. He got a refund on that one, for real. Man said, Aramco is seriously interested in Spurs and there will be a takeover soon. Big money coming. So, do you know what? Let's just look into, because you know what, yeah? I think a lot of people don't know that Spurs were up for sale for a while now. Spurs have been trying to sell the club or get some new investment into the club. Joe Lewis and team has worked on that quite extensively throughout the last couple of years. But supposedly one of the biggest stumbling blocks has always been that if a new ownership comes into place, Daniel Levy still wanted to be chairman of the club. Daniel Levy still wanted to have control and still wanted to make sure he was the guy leading us forward. He always wanted to make sure he had that control. Oh, sorry. Gonna get Jay's gonna be jumping on. Jay's gonna be jumping on. I actually forgot to respond to him. Let me go send a link to Jay. Jay asked for the link last night, but we're gonna get Jay's reaction. Eze is a clover over Simmons. Don't even know what that means. I don't even know what that means. I'll be honest. Don't even know what that means. But I hear you. I hear you. But people don't know that Spurs would have been surrounded by takeovers or potential takeover bids for a long time. A long time. And a few months ago, we heard that there was some progress being made with that takeover, you know. But this, do you know, look, now that we're seeing, there's been some news dropped. Just having a look around on the word, on the curb. Yes, because Amanda Staveley, the person that helped broker the takeover with Newcastle, had then left Newcastle, but had been in talks to potentially have an investment in Spurs. Now, she worked as part of the Saudi investment group, or I don't know if she's like an in-between, an intermediary. I don't necessarily know her role, but I know she works with the Saudi investment group, PIF. And basically, apparently, I should say, not basically, apparently, Daniel Levy was forced out of some sort. Let me get the actual report up so we can go through this in detail. Big up to Sava in the building. Sava, I know you're enjoying that holiday. I was saying yesterday, I think Sava might be flying home. I think Sava might be flying home to get back to these streams because there is emergency. All these other emergency meetings aren't really emergency. This was a cause for an emergency meeting, especially for Sava. You know, Lubo must be over the moon. I could imagine. I could imagine. I know he was like to the missus. Sava went, I'm so sorry. I know we're at dinner right now, but you know what? You're gonna get a gift. You're gonna get a gift. I need to do a video. If I don't, this video will buy you a new gift. It might buy you a new wedding ring. It might even buy, but I need to do a video. That would have been my pitch. My pitch would have been like, you're going to get something from this one. I just need to go and do a stream for an hour. I'm sorry, but give me an hour. You know, when you're gone for the hour, you're gone for actually 2 or 3. But she's forgot about it by then. No, but this was great news, man. Great news. I know this brother slept like it's Christmas Eve. Yeah. To be fair, I slept shit, man. I slept shit. You're probably gonna see at one point my new cat just come blasting in here, just causing havoc. Just too much mayhem. It's too much mayhem going on with this one. So where is this report? Because I was reading some reports. From, I don't know if it's Hotspur related. And they had a bit. No, Sammy Mockbell. That was it. Sammy Mockbell. Let's get Mockbell. And I'll share my screen. Yes. This is what I started. This is the report that I saw. And you know what? It'll be good to actually go through this report. I don't want to sign in. I don't want to do none of this. Maybe later. Yeah. So this gives a bit more detail into how Levy had left Spurs, and what was actually going on behind the scenes. Oh, this is such a long article. Yeah, we're not going to do that, people. I thought it was going to be a fairly short article. Daniel Levy leaves Tottenham. The decision was taken by Tavistock and Joe Lewis. Result of lack of on-pitch success. So you've got it right there, people. The owners, I should say, and Joe Lewis and the Joe and the group were not happy with the on-field success that Daniel Levy achieved, especially after seeing what we've done this season. 17th in the league. I think that was enough for them. To see that we had yet again failed to go out there in the transfer window last year, improve the squad, put Ange in a very tough position in the preceding year. Injuries killed us, but we did not have the squad to compete. The on-the-field success at the end was the Europa League. The only day I had off, Levy resigns. Perfect day. Perfect day. I'm loving life right now. I hear it. And they just had enough. They see the Europa League win and they're like, this is what we're supposed to be doing yearly. It's been 17 years to wait for this moment. 17 years. And I think they had enough. They had enough. They did not want to wait another 17 years before seeing this take place again. They didn't want to do it. So on top of that, apparently Joe Lewis's kids, Vivian Lewis and Charlie, were key and instrumental in the takeover. Somebody said something in my chat. I believe it may have been Drula that suggested that Viv works closely with Peter Charrington, and Peter Charrington taking charge of the non-executive chairman role. That was her sort of ploy early in the year when he was moved into that position. Joe's grandson Nick Bosher was also involved, and then Lewis believed change may be necessary, executive chairman role to be removed. And then obviously, yeah, this report is extremely long. But I'm gonna see if there is some more. Yes, we do have some detail. We do have some detail that probably worth reading. We can skim through to the second half of this bit, where he mentions Peter Charrington becomes non-executive. Oh, look, let me zoom right in. Peter Charrington becomes non-executive chairman, a new role following Levy's exit. Charrington is a director of Tottenham's owners ENIC, a vehicle for running the club owned by the Tavistock Group, which in turn is owned by the Lewis family. He was appointed to the Spurs board in March as a non-executive director. Levy and his family hold a stake in ENIC. In announcing Levy's departure, the club said Tottenham Hotspur has been transformed over the last quarter of a century. It has played in European competitions in the last 18 of 20 seasons, becoming one of the world's most recognized football clubs, consistently investing in its academy, players, and facilities, including a new world-class stadium and state-of-the-art training center. The club has also competed regularly at the highest level, enjoying a number of fantastic on-field successes, including the recent Europa League Cup win. Tottenham said there would be no changes to the ownership or shareholder structure. Charrington thanked Levy for his service and added this is a new era of leadership for the club on and off the pitch. I do recognize there's been a lot of change in recent months as we put in place new foundations for the future. We are now fully focused on stability and empowering our talented people across the club, led by Vinay and his executive team. So Vinay is now the guy that is leading us forward. Vinay will be the guy that takes us into this new era and is leading Spurs ahead. I don't know how I feel about that because I've heard so many mixed reviews from Arsenal fans regarding his leadership. None of them have been good. I just need to say that. None of them have been good reviews. A lot of them have been terrible. A lot of them have been okay, but none of them have been good reviews. Now, during his time at Arsenal, I think it's clear to see if we actually have a look into the years that he was there, it wasn't very successful. It wasn't very successful. Let me see. If we have a look at his oh look, we got his LinkedIn up. We can see what years he was at Arsenal. He was the Arsenal CEO between 2020 or 2024, managing director between 2018 and 2020. He worked for Arsenal for a long time, but done so many different roles. It'd be hard to judge how good his actual impact of leading Arsenal was. He was head of global partnerships for 3 years. Then he was director of global partnerships for 6 months. And then 10 months, he moved on into a new role every couple of years. Eventually came Arsenal's managing director in 2018 and then led them from 2018 to 2024. So literally last year to as a CEO. And to be honest, Arsenal didn't win much. So yeah, I don't even know. But man said, now imagine Julian Alvarez, Rodrigo, Endrick, maybe even Pedri or Gavi to Tottenham. Woodrow, what's in your blunts? Is man smoking rice? Is man smoking rice? Hey, look, man, I've just seen Thomas Frank's. Hey, he ain't updated his LinkedIn, fam. Thomas Frank ain't updated his LinkedIn. Man still's got head coach at Brentford. He needs to, somebody tell him he needs to update his LinkedIn. He's got a new job, fam. He's got a new job. But people getting angry about Charrington having no football experience, but he's simply there to help get the best deal for Enoch when they're there to sell the club. Look at Charrington's specialty. See, that's what you're probably right. Fix NBA 2K21. That's a funny name. 2K20 was the GOAT game. 2K21 sort of where it started to go right downhill. And I've heard 2K26 is supposed to be good, but I won't be investing in that. But back to what you said in particular. Yeah, Charrington's worked. He was the CEO of Citibank, I think, for 20 or 25 years. So I wouldn't be surprised. And like what you said, he's there to help broker a deal between potentially the Saudis or the Qataris and Spurs. One thing that I have heard in the grapevines is that Spurs are well prepped for a takeover from the Saudi group. And it may be, as what was reported a few months ago, at first an investment into the club. So they put an investment, maybe, naming rights. We saw quite a few months ago, I believe Neom is the company. Let me just check. I believe Neom's the company that was interested in purchasing Spurs, or the company that potentially could be the naming rights for the stadium. I believe. I made a video on this a few months ago. My memory is so bad. Look who's in the building. Ghosted. See, I say you say it, and he comes in with a new one. Durag Deceptions. We got the best transfer window. Levy out, Ange out, and the Parisian Pop Smoke out. That's dark. The man called TEL the Parisian Pop Smoke. Man called TEL the Parisian Pop Smoke. Don't tell me you called TEL that. Don't tell me you called TEL. The Parisian Pop Smoke is crazy. That's actually nasty work. Man said Parisian Pop Smoke. I can't believe what the heck I'm hearing. I generally can't believe it. But yeah, we definitely had one of the best transfer windows now. The man says Garnacho is a Spurs level. Garnacho will probably go Arsenal. Like, Garnacho has got probably a clause in his contract that automatically clicks for Arsenal to be interested in him within 2 to 3 years. Arsenal, what happens in 2 to 3 years, there's an activation of talks beginning between Arsenal and Chelsea for him to potentially make that move. Now, it starts off with a loan, with an obligation, or with an option, sorry, and then Arsenal buy him because they're like, no, we don't do loans. We want to buy, bro. We want to buy. We want guaranteed success. And then they put £50 million in him. And then it all works out because Man United still get an extra 10% off that. So they get a 5 mil. And then Chelsea make their profit. This works out for everyone. Arsenal love Chelsea players. Arsenal love Chelsea players. But I'm still, I'm trying to find this takeover stuff because I have seen stuff on it on Twitter. But trying to find it all back now is so hard because I haven't bookmarked the stuff. But we'll get back around to that. We'll get back around to that. What I did actually want to speak about away from that was the Champions League squad. The Champions League squad. Because I know a lot of people have concerns. We only have 22 players in the squad. Champions League squad has been announced. I did make a video on it on TEL's Emission. But just to go through it in a bit more detail, Spurs have confirmed the squad for the UEFA Champions League today. This is the squad that will take place for all the league phase games. And as you can see, as per UEFA's regulations, a maximum of 25 players can belong to a list, whom must be goalkeepers, while the list must also include 8 locally trained players. With those 8 locally trained players, 4 of them need to be club-trained players who have been registered with the club for 3 entire seasons or of 36 months between the ages of 15 and 21. I believe Pap Sarr, because the specific rule is they need to be registered at the start of the season before the first game and be 3 seasons onwards from that. Pap Sarr was going to be a club-trained player, but because he was registered on the 27th of August, not on the 12th of August, let's just say, that's my cat. What are you doing? What are you doing? Sorry about that. And so just because he was registered 2 weeks later, he doesn't count as a club-trained player. So he has to go into the A list as one of the 17 foreign players. Then the other 4 players are association-trained players who have been registered with the club or with other clubs affiliated to the same association for 3 entire seasons. So the exact same thing, but it's just them within the UK setup. So if they've been at Arsenal or Chelsea during that time frame, they count as association-trained players. Then our squad can also be supplemented by a number of young players born on or after the 1st of January 2004 from List B, which is changeable up until each day of the game. Make this bigger again. I don't know why it always puts the small one. So as you can see there, these are some of the reasons why Spurs could only register 22 players. We cannot fulfill these 8 locally trained players. We only have 5. So 3 of those spots take away, and we've gone from a 25-man squad to a 22-man squad. That's terrible mismanagement on Sarr. Definitely terrible mismanagement. We should have signed him a few weeks earlier, especially from the case that he was signed and loaned straight back out. So it wasn't like a panic sign at the end of the window. It's just poor. Man, like Patrick Chatty Patty in the building. Big up to Pat, man. I hope you're well, bro. Definitely need to get you on the channel sometime soon. Definitely, bro. Especially with this Levy stuff. I'm sure you feel more than strongly about it. So, yeah, man. Definitely need to get you back on the channel soon. No doubt about that. Arteta is the Donny outside of the club who goes for drunk. Twos that don't have a Donny to bring home. The club, Chelsea Football Club. Funny. Man like Bango, yo, he's back here with the membership, man. There's a delinquent in the house. Because I did see there was no membership badge. I saw certain man losing memberships, but Bango's back in the building. VIP members are back. Yeah, delinquents are here. That's what I like to see, bro. Durag Aramco was one of the main organizers. Yes, you are right about that. It wasn't Neon. I was thinking about Aramco. There's so many different names for like these oil companies and stuff. I get them all confused. But I'm pretty sure, yes, it was Aramco. It was Aramco. Yes, you are right. Fix NBA. Make sure you guys are... Hey, he knows his stuff. He knows his stuff. He knows his stuff. Pascal... Man says Struick. We're getting mad. So here's our squad. We got Vicario, Danso, Paulinho, Simons, Richarlison. Oh, na. Man like Udogi, Archie Gray, Torfin. Yeah. Solanke, Romero, Rolly Rolls Royce Romero. Man like Kudus, Brennan Johnson, Pedro Porro, Jed Penitentiary, Wilson Odebank, Saw, man like Ben 10, TK Maxx, Ben Davies, Van der Ven, Randall Colomaware, yeah, and Brandon Austin. So that's your 22-man squad there. That's our 22-man squad right here. All the players that are included. This will be supplemented by quite a few young players, whether that's Janae Byfield, whether that's Dane Scarlett, and some of these other players that come out of the academy, that will be supplemented by them. Looking into this, I then built some lineups for what we could potentially see as our setups going into the Champions League. Lineup A, and I'm just going to call it lineup A because this is just, I suppose, the ones that fit in best with just positions, teams, first teamers. This is what I would call lineup A. Let me know what you guys think. My lineup A would be Vicario in goal, Pedro Porro right back, Romero Van der Ven at centre back. Now, this isn't me saying I'd start Udogie over Spence, but it's just lineup A. He's the left back. He's going to go into that left back position. We got Udogie at left back, Paulinho and Bentancur in the central midfield positions, holding it down for us, especially in the Champions League. You're going to need some quality of their levels. And then Kudus, Simons, and Odebert at left wing with Kolo Muani up top. This is the way that we could set up, and I'm interested to see this lineup. I think this is the lineup we should go with against West Ham. I'll be honest. I think this is the lineup we need to start with against West Ham. The only other potential change could be Bentancur for Sarr. You could do Bentancur for Sarr or Paulinho for Sarr and push Bentancur on the other side. That's what I would go with personally. But I'm interested to see how this could potentially line up against West Ham. We're talking about a team with one of the weakest defenses in the league. We've got a whole new look attack because, let's have it right, Odebert, he's not a new signing. But in the sense of we didn't really watch him last year, so didn't really get to see the levels of what he can truly reach because he was coming back from injury at the back end of last year. Still didn't start that many games. But he came into this team and instantly is our most comfortable left winger. So I'm looking at it, I'm like, I'm interested to see Odebert's impact into the team. Kolo Muani as well, give him his first start. Potentially, you could throw Muani out on the left and Richarlison up top if you want to continuously if you want to keep Richarlison's consistency growing, you throw Muani on the left and Richarlison up top. But this might be our best team available throughout the majority of the season. And again, I might throw Spence in this team. I would, depending on the opponent that we're playing. If we're playing a more weaker team, then I'd maybe take Spence out and leave it like this. But if we're playing a team that has strong wingers, because I think Spence is better defensively than Udogie, but Udogie is better going forward than Spence. Definitely down the left side. We ain't really seen Spence on the right-hand side. Too tough. So I don't want to judge his attacking play down the right-hand and left-hand side and just make that overall for how good he is going forward. But Udogie down that left-hand side gets up and down the wing and is definitely more dangerous on the attack, especially with Odobert. The combinations these two can make, with Odobert being able to come inside and take up these spaces, or he could come over here as Xavi Simons takes up this left half space. It gives us the option to interchange, to move. Mwani likes to drift out wide a little at times, which could give Odobert that run in between. And sort of, we're creating options. We're giving ourselves other solutions. So, for me, and I just deeped, where's this Jay guy? Jay told me to send him the link. What's going on? That man's all been 20 minutes. I just remembered. I looked at the time and I was like, yo, this is crazy. But yeah, this is one of the lineups we could go with. This is definitely one of the lineups we could go with. Away from that, Arsenal wins the league. You cut your beard off, Jords. No, I wouldn't even agree to do that. I'm sorry. I wouldn't even agree to do that. This is lineup number 2. Again, lineup B, I would call this one, because this is all the players that ain't in the other lineup. So you go Spence at right back. You got Kinski in goal. You got Danso, Dragusin, Davies. This back line would get absolutely cooked. I'm just going to say this back line would get cooked, especially down this side. Yeah, it would be awful. Absolutely awful down this side. But interested to see, you know, how these players could supplement and play their way. And play their way, man. Play their way into the team. Then midfield. This is the midfield that we set up against Burnley. Gray, Sarr, and Bergvall. It's a very young midfield. Our 3 backup midfield options. You got a 6, you got an 8, and you got a hybrid 8 as well. You got 2 8s here. We don't necessarily have a backup 10 available at the moment, but Kulusevski and Maddison still yet to come back. Once they do come back into this team, the level or the floor of this team raises massively. Because now you got Kulu, who could play on the right, could play in the center, is better than Johnson, and could compete with Xavi Simons, or you could play all 3 of them, Kulu and Simons, behind the striker. Dangerous business. This time I threw Richarlison into the lineup with an upfront of Johnson and TEL. I would say that this is definitely a very weak lineup in the sense of there's not enough balance in this team. We haven't got a touchline winger. Both of our wingers are more inside forward type players that like to run off the shoulder of defenders and get in behind. You've got a player up top in Richarlison whose hold-up play can be good at times, but then again, it's not consistent. You've got Bergvall who can carry through the lines and probably our most balanced midfielder in the team, but the midfield is probably where it's balanced, but we haven't got that physicality in the midfield. We've not got that physicality in the midfield once. Had to change the name from Fix NBA in the first squad. Man said Spurs sources. Big up to you, bro. I like the name change. In the first squad, when Kulusevski returns, I'd personally put Kulu in the middle and Simons out on the left, then they can rotate throughout the game. I'd be open to that. I would definitely be open to that. Obviously, these are the lineups based on the Champions League squad, but you are right. Like, if we done this, you could very easily go Kulusevski. Very easily go Kulusevski, and this looks... this is a serious team. This is a serious team. A Champions League side that is going to be causing problems. Big up to Ghosted, bro. It's always a pleasure having you in here. Make sure you're smashing the likes, people, on your way out. Big up to Ghosted, though, man. Pleasure to have you here as always, bro. I appreciate the support every single time. But Kulusevski coming in here, what this helps and what this does do is it allows us to have a completely fluid front 3 because Kudus can play in the middle. As Kulusevski likes to drift out on these right half spaces and drift out wide, when he's coming out here, Kudus could drift into the middle and start to take up this position as Xavi comes over here. What this also could do, is as you have these players tucking in, or you have Kudus holding the width, you have these two coming forward, you could just allow a Dogie that freedom to run forward, because we see this quite a lot of times with the Thomas Frank teams. Is, do you know what? I'm on this one. I should probably go on this one where it will look easier. Well, I ain't got the players' names on this one, this tactics board. I ain't got the players' names, but it's easier to see how we could use them and how the players could use. So if we done, this was the setup that I was showing you. We had Udogie roaming down this left-hand side. Then let's just say you have your striker, and then you have you have Kudus holding the touchline. Then you got Kulu and Simmons tucking in slightly behind the striker. In possession, you could set up with a formation that looks something like this. This is in possession, people. In possession. This is how you could look. This is how you could look. You can have your right winger hugging the touchline in Kudus. Kudus is going to be hugging the touchline, making those runs up and down the line, up and down here, up and down. Got Kulu playing within this half space, picking up the ball from deep, making some of these marauding runs. But then a lot of the times you see he gets the ball here and he struggles and doesn't really know what he's doing with it. So then he could play it with Kudus, bounce off him. Oh, look who decides to show face. Look, wait, I've got to go to a two-man setup. There we go. Look who decides to show face. Man, like Jay Hotspur. Oh, no, Jay from the cave. I was going to say Hotspur Cave. It's Jay from the cave now. Hotspur Cave Live. Jay from the cave. What are you saying, bro? Man's hitting that.
He's gone, mate. Levy's gone. It's a good day. Sorry I'm late, you know what I mean? Just got back from the gym and that. Got to get them games in, you know what I'm saying? But no,
Love to hear it.
It's a pleasure to be here, man. I'm excited, bro. I'm very excited. I see you breaking down little Champions League tactics and them things there, you know what I'm saying?
Little lineups and stuff that we can do, little different
Jords, with the princes of Europe. That's what I said to him once. I said, we're the princes of Europe. You know what I'm saying? We're royalty in this. We're royalty, blacks. I see the squad, obviously. I'm sure we'll talk. I'm sure you've probably been talking about that. I see a certain somebody got left out. Yeah. Yeah, wait, mate. Certain somebody got left out.
He did. We have been speaking about that, to be fair. We have touched on it. And what do you actually think about that? Because whilst we're here and whilst we're talking about that, what do you think about TEL being left out? Because me personally, I don't think it's the end. I don't think it's like, Frank don't rate TEL. Frank don't like this player, nothing like that. I think Frank just acknowledges that Odebert's in a better position at the moment. Odebert's more refined of his gameplay and he brings more to us. Frank had to make a tough decision. Ultimately, a player had to be left out. If it wasn't TEL, it would have been Odebert. And if it wasn't Odebert, it would have been maybe Kinski or a goalkeeper. Not be funny, Brandon Austin can't be our backup, because if Vicario does get injured, I'm not watching Brandon Austin be our Champions League goalkeeper. So what are your thoughts on it?
Well, to be fair, yeah, I agree. And I just think maybe, Tottenham Radio, you're getting mad, bro. You know what I'm saying? But I just think maybe it's a thing where the manager doesn't, like you said, the manager doesn't really trust TEL as much from what he's seen. Remember, he's had a whole pre-season, and the first, obviously, he didn't really get much minutes in the first few games. But I think he's probably seen enough to know that he's not our best option coming off the left-hand side. And maybe, just maybe, Thomas Frank is looking at this Champions League and thinking we're in a really good position to get ourselves through and put a little run on in this competition. I'm going to pick my strongest squad. And whether guys want to admit it or not, 45 million doesn't mean that he's part of the strongest. I don't even think he's part of our second-string strongest team. Like, genuinely speaking, bro. Genuinely speaking, I genuinely rather see Brennan Johnson on the left, bro. And that's just because, But I just personally think
I'm not going to say anything else. I can't argue that.
No, but it's true, though, because at least you know you're going to get some sort of output. Yeah, whether it's a late goal, whether it's creeping into the back, at the back. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But with TEL, it's like, I think he's a little bit too hot and cold. He's still trying to find his feet. And that's okay, bro. Like everyone says, he's 19, right? Everyone wants to give him time. Now that we've got a manager who's saying, okay, I'm going to give him time to develop. He can hold bench. let's just. I support his decision. I support his decision, man.
No, I hear it. And do you know what? Yeah, Spurs source, you make a great point in here saying Tell needs to take a note out of Jed Spence book. Spence got left out of the Europa League stages, worked hard, and it's paid off, you know, starting a lot of games and received an England call up. And now he's a first teamer in the Tottenham squad, got a new contract on big money now. And that's ultimately what happens is, you know, hard work pays off. I think for Tell, he needs to realize, you know, it's not always going to go your way. Ultimately, he does seem like a confidence player, but don't let this knock your confidence. If this knocks your confidence, then you're not ready to compete at the highest level, because you're going to have moments like this in your career. You're going to miss a penalty. That penalty was the catalyst for Saka to then have the career that he had when he missed it in the Euros. He was just, what, 19, 20 when he missed that 20 penalty, and then it's now been 3 or 4 years onwards from that. And now Saka's renowned as one of the best right wingers in world football. So you've got to take that. You've got to use it as fuel, motivation. Now when the squad's flying out on Wednesday, Thursday or Tuesday, Wednesday, you've now got a couple extra days to train. You've got a couple extra days to put some size on, to work with your coach on your finishing and these little parts. So if I was him, I'd use this as motivation.
Yeah, don't be feeling sorry for yourself, man.
Yeah, man, don't be feeling sorry for yourself. Ultimately, you're going to be started in those games in the Carabao Cup. I think that's probably what Frank has said to him, is in Carabao Cup, you'll get a lot of minutes. And he has to prove yourself there against the teams that are of your level, against a Doncaster. I expect to see you ripping up their wing arm, popping it top bins. That's the sort of shit I expect from a young winger, especially one from Bayern Munich that costs you 35, 40 million pounds. This is what we expect to see. So for me, yeah, it's not one to knock his confidence, but ultimately it's a decision that had to be made by Frank. It's a decision that had to be made by the club, and it's not the end of the world.
I was going to say as well, George, yeah. Also, fair play to Thomas Frank for making that decision, bro, because a lot of managers will come into a club and I don't want to disrupt the harmony, you know, the vibes, fairies, sparkles and all of that. Nah, bro, it's like, yo, I'm here to lay down the law. I know what I need. I'm going to do what I think is best for the team, bro. And listen, I think if this doesn't get, I did say early, I think I was in Mexico when I said this, yeah, but I said that Thomas Frank will get a tune out of TEL, whether it's him sending him out on loan for a season or whether it's him just dropping him from the squad completely. But he needs to feel that hunger, bro. He needs to, you know what I'm saying? He needs to know that he's expendable. You didn't come from Bayern and come here thinking that it's going to be sunshine and rainbows, bro. This is Tottenham Hotspur, mate. Right. Do you know what I'm saying? You got to fight for your place here. And hey, I'm excited to see what Odobert does, because, like I said, Odobert just needs that end, just that final. He's the more finished article. Do you know what I'm saying? If that makes sense, bro.
Odebert's got more about his game, innit? He's got more all round to his game. He's definitely a better dribbler. He's better at taking on his man. He's just better all round in that sense. Well, big up to Views in the building. What's good, you man? Smash a like and subscribe. Big up to Views. Man. Big up to Jose. Morning, Jords and Jay. I did say them men are coming, but I was wrong. It was the woman, Vivian. I don't know if you know Vivian's Joe Lewis's daughter. She's the one that's apparently pushed Daniel Levy at the club. And they're just ultimately Joe Lewis, his family, you know, his sons and daughters and grandsons, the people that are Spurs fans, the owners, essentially, have not been happy with the success on the field. And I think they saw this Europa League and they were like, yo, this is what it's supposed to be like. I forgot this feeling. Daniel's the reason I forgot this shit. And then he's been pushed out of the club.
Hey, I'm hearing that Peter Charrington guy. Yeah, someone told me that he's an investment banker. He's helping with the sale of the club.
He had 20 or 25 years the CEO of Private Citibank. So I'm sure you would know Citibank, one of the biggest banks in the world. Yeah, he is very well versed in, you know, brokering deals, and apparently has been brought in to help broker a potential sale of the club to that of Qatar or Saudi investors. I don't think it will be a direct sale. I think at first it will probably be an investment, maybe a 20% buy, and then, you know, a buy-in that builds up across the years. But what are you saying on this? What's your initial reaction? Big up to Hooks to the raid as well.
Big up Hooks.
But yeah, man, what's your initial reaction?
Saudi Hotspur, bro. You know what I'm saying? Bring me that money, broski. Bring me that oil money. And hey, there's no smoke without fire, innit? That's what I will say, bro. There's no smoke without fire. Uh, I know this has rattled the rival fans because they're all like in denial right now. Oh, nothing's gonna change. Oh no, the club's not gonna sell. Oh, Daniel Levy's still here. Oh, you've got Vinay now. Well, fun fact, we've had Vinay for about a year now. Like we've had time to accept that Vinay is here. George, I'm pretty sure you remember me crashing out about Vinay, yeah, because I said I didn't want him at the football club.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
hey, Vinay's a European winner, mate. hey, Vinay brought in Kudus and do you know? Listen, touchline is rattled. I know. I've been winding them up saying that we're gonna get the Saudis. Look, obviously we can't get Newcastle's ownership, bro. But hey, man, sell the club, Danny. Just Joe Lewis, Enoch, sell the club, bro. Sell the club, and they're gonna fear us, Jords, bro. We waited for this for years. And hey, do you know what? Big up Son. Son, you don't know what you done for us, bro. You see that miss against City? That was the biggest sliding doors moment in football, bro. That opened doors to so many things happening, bro. Imagine if Son didn't miss, Levy would not be leaving. We wouldn't have won that Europa League. We would have finished 17th and with nothing. Bro. Hey, man. Hey, George. They don't want to see what happens when we get money, bro.
They don't.
Are Newcastle owned by the country of Saudi Arabia?
No, they're owned by PIF, which is a Saudi investment company. But I'm pretty sure the biggest people in Saudi that would launch a bid would be PIF. Now, I'm unaware as to if PIF can have an ownership. If they can have, I think they can still have a part ownership in Tottenham, but they can't be a majority owner of Tottenham. I've heard that there could be Qatar owners invested. You know, the guys that own PSG, they've been heavily linked to Spurs. Him and Daniel Levy have always had a good relationship, Nasser Al Khalifi. And apparently they've looked into an investment into Tottenham as well. So we can wait and see. I'm not going to get too giddy about a potential investment. You know, I've spoke about them in the past. I've done videos on them in the past because they've always had news come out, but none of it's actually materialized. So if we see the news come out with something more concrete, we'll speak about it. But up until then, I don't want to start getting ahead of myself and start thinking, you know, Qatar money, start doing my Christmas wish list, start talking about Ferraris and Lambos and them things.
Guys, look how rattled, bro. Why is bro so hurt?
Yeah, touchline. You're just hurt, bro. I'm not sending no link out. We're having a Tottenham chat right now. I don't want to hear you talk about Man United. I'm not here today. I told you this diaper talk from guys that have never seen their club really have success. You know, you saw your club last couple of years cool. You had a couple little League Cups and cool, but you never saw the pomp of Man United. So you talk like a United fan that was there for Sir Alex Ferguson. You weren't there.
They're showing me a scarf with bare grey faces on it. Like,
yeah, man, allow it. But man said people are crazy. Cullen gone, Levy gone, and a financial expert has been brought in for only one reason: to help broker a deal. Charrington has no football experience. He doesn't have no football experience. And the thing is that needs to be said though. He is a non-executive chairman of the board. So I believe him being a non-exec as opposed to an actual exec means he's not in control of like Vinay and their team. Vinay leads Tottenham. He's the CEO of Tottenham now. He's the guy that will make all the executive decisions. Peter Charrington's sort of just above him as an advisor of some case, working with, you know, Joe Lewis and his people, and he would advise Vinay and his team. But
sorry,
look,
why is man typing in all caps? It's 10 o'clock in the morning. Drink a coffee, bro.
Yeah, drink a coffee, touchline. Maybe have a Stella. I don't know what you guys do on a Friday. Do something, innit? Just calm down, mate.
Yeah,
take a touch,
take a chill pill, mate.
Take a touch, bro. You're gonna get some. You're gonna get some. You know what I mean? But I wanted to go back into these lineups because I had a few different lineups that man was like really feeling, and this was a lineup that I put together this morning, and I was like, yo, this lineup here might be the one that I think is serious lineup settings. 3 at the back, we're talking. Let me take this thing off real quick. Let's go to this one.
Hey, did you see the picture of Jed Spence looking at Eze? That picture's funny as fuck.
No, I ain't seen it. What is he? Bogging Eze. Bogging Eze, giving him that one.
Hey, Jed Spence is a M17 resident, bro. I don't care what no one says, bro. That guy's a Park Lane resident, fam. There's no way man looked at Eze like he's gonna get him down. Shit.
Nah, for real.
Well, is this the squad you come up with?
This is my lineup. This is, I think, could be later on in the season one of our best lineups. Now, I would actually swap him out. Let me just say that I would swap Solanke out because I put him in there originally just to show the options we had. But I would go Mawani. So we got Mawani in there. But what do you think of this lineup? What Champions League night? You know, we're gonna be going up against the likes of PSG or Dortmund. We might need to switch to a back three, but that back three is going to be an attacking back three. What are we saying of this lineup?
I'm okay with it, to be fair. I'd feel safer with Paulinho over Bentancur. But obviously, that's one of them ones.
Originally, I think I had it as Bentancur, Paulinho, but I was like, that midfield's a bit too defensive for me. I need
no, that's what I'm saying. I just swap Bentancur out for Paulinho. I put faith in Bergvall to do the dog work, in my personal opinion, bro. Because look, when he come on against Bournemouth, we started to get control back over the game, which is one thing I did notice when he did come on. And look, he's young, he's rash, but he's gonna be a player, that's very key to this Tottenham side. He's gonna be a very important cog in this Spurs side, bro. So I definitely keep Bergvall in there. The fullbacks. Oh, Porro to the bench. Hey, listen.
That was me. Yeah, man. This is a team that I put Porro to the bench.
I can't argue with that, bro. I can't argue with it. I'm not going to argue with that.
And that's only because I'm looking at this and I'm like, because this team for me presents balance, isn't it? You've got Udogie, who on the left-hand side, I think he's better than Spence going forward. But I think Spence on the ball going forward, especially when you have a front three like this, where you've got Kudus and Xavi, who might be tucking in a little piece, you're going to have your two wingers marauding up and down the lines. They're going to be having to really work hard. I think Porro does a good job, but at times he doesn't carry the ball well enough. He'll just sort of walk down. I need Spence who's actually going to drive down that line. I need Udogie who's going to drive down that line to pick up the ball down these spaces, get up and down. So when I looked at the back three, and I was like, what can we do with like a back three and a front three? I like this one works for me because Kolo Muani loves to drift out wide, likes to take up these wider spaces, especially when he's getting on the ball. You'll see him, he'll come pick up the ball out here, and you might see a Kudus come over here and a Xavi come over here. You know what I mean? Like create the front three. I see it just being a little bit more fluid. That's what
I like about this team, though, George. You know, I think this is actually a very, very this gives me confidence going into Europe. I can't lie. This definitely, because that was my thing in the summer, that I said was my biggest thing, was that I still believe that we had a Europa League level 11, if that made sense. A very high quality Europa League level / lower tier Champions League level squad. This now, if you set this team up like this is going to be a team that's very hard to beat. Like you said, a big problem for us is that right-hand side or opposition left-hand side. They get so much joy going down there because obviously Porro, he's even cuckoo land sometimes. He dozes off, he steps out. Sometimes he might try, he gives the ball away, which is something I noticed as well. He doesn't do it a lot, but he gives the ball away quite high up the pitch. Now we've got Jed Spence. One that kind of gives Kudus the freedom to run that whole right-hand side. And he will join in if he needs to. Udogie, again, I'm hoping that we get Udogie back to his best. Do you know what I'm saying? Obviously, having the cover of Van de Ven, and you've got Bergvall on that side where if you need Bergvall to shift over there, you can do. Xavi Simons, like you said, Xavi Simons and Kolo Muani, that link up needs to be. That needs to be our new Son and Kane.
Man. It needs to be on point, bro.
That needs to be our Son and Kane. If Muani's gonna be here. Like, I know what people are going to say. He's not a great footballer, and I don't think he's the best footballer.
Randall J. Muani.
J. Muani, yeah. Randall J. Muani and them things. But if he's going to be here, bro, we need to be getting output from him, bro. And
Facts.
Hey, you've got Kudus and you've got two bright attackers playing behind you. Pause. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, I have no reason not to be excited, bro. Look at man saying if they don't want. Well, no, we keep Porro, bro. But it's called squad depth.
We
You
want,
know what
do you
I'm
know,
saying?
depth. You wouldn't
It's
know
called
about
squad
them things,
depth.
touchline. You don't know about squad depth. You have a first 11, and to be fair, you don't need depth. You play 38 games a season, no more, no less. You know them ones there. Like, you know your plays. You don't need depth. We need the depth. And now, like you said there, we added 4 players that all Champions League level. Paulinho's played Champions League at a high level. Kudus, Champions League at Ajax. Xavi's always played Champions League, and Moani's always played Champions League. Got 3 players. Like I said, we had a Europa League level squad. We brought 4 players in that match to that Champions League level that we need. And this is what it's about. It's not about just having one lineup. It's about having multiple lineups. And I've seen Spurs sources go back into the chat to say the lineup that he would like to see the most. And that was this one that we built earlier that could potentially be our most dangerous lineup. And probably if we're going up against teams, where we're going to be taking over games, this team is serious. This team is
What's that?
serious.
Decky in the 10, yeah?
Decky in the 10 with Xavi out on the left. And
So,
sort of, I suppose.
George, what is actually wrong with Decky? Because I knew he had. Did he have a surgery at the end of last season?
He had a surgery. Yeah, he had a surgery on his knee.
I thought he was supposed to be back in like late October, early November. Now that
he's still training. He's one of those ones with these injuries. It's the what do they call it? The therapy, like the therapy to get
rehabilitation
back. Yeah, the rehabilitation. That's what takes long. He's been in the gym. He's doing that, like, you know, those bloody leg raises and all of the Hungarian squats, split squats, and all these things. He's doing all that. He's doing all the leg work, but he's having to build the power back up in his leg and get the strength back. So I think it's just a case of touch and go. He has to build the strength up in the gym after a month or 2, and then he'll be back on the pitch training. But then again, they're going to be very slow in bringing him back on the pitch training, because it could be any wrong move, you could re-injure yourself. It's a knee injury, innit? So any wrong move, any wrong twist, any bad tackle, it could go wrong. So it's one of those injuries that are touch and go, that he could be back in January. He could be back before then. But if he is back before then, it's a risk that he could get re-injured. You know what I mean? So it's going to be a slow one before he does actually get reintegrated back into the team. And this is why he's been excluded from the Champions League squad, because I'd expect that he probably won't play and may be available back in January when there's like 2 games left. So didn't want to risk him. But that's what I mean. This lineup was one that I really like, but because we're not going to see Kulusevski for half of the season, I didn't want to get too gassed about it, because I was like, we probably won't see this lineup. And we might have to see it.
We've done well this window, to be fair. We've done. There could have been more done, but again, you're not going to get everything done in one window. Looking at this 11, with this being our strongest 11, chat, you'd agree with me, right? Maybe Spence at fullback. Would you say him over Porro would make this our strongest 11?
It might be Spence over Udogie, to be fair, depending.
Or yeah,
depending
maybe
what
Spence
you
over
want. Spence over
Udogie, and that's our
Udogie.
strongest 11. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
This is a decent 11. This is why I said, bro, I believe we can get back into the top 6, Jords, bro, because this squad is good enough to get back into the top 6, bro. I don't care. This squad is good enough.
The man says Soldado is better than Moani. That's crazy. Soldado is not Soldado. Bro, don't even get me started on that guy. That's just bad memories, bro. Bad memory. When he signed, I thought that guy was gonna be a backsman. I was like, yo.
I had a Soldado shirt, bro.
Yeah, no, that's dark. That is dark. A Soldado shirt. Do you know what though? I hear it, because when he signed, everybody thought he was gonna be a real, like, if you watched his comps, watched how he was playing, he was serious bagsman in La Liga. Serious bagsman. Come over here and just. What did he score? I think he had four goals in that first season, and like 2 of them were penalties. He played bare games.
He was bagging goals out in Spain, bro. We thought we was up, G.
Yeah, he was bagging 20 a season, something around that touchline. Yeah, he would have had like 20 across a couple of seasons. Like, he was a serious bagsman and come to us. And then he left and still bagged a couple of goals. Like, he went back and started bagging goals again. So it was just Spurs. He couldn't work at us. But the fluidity across the front 4 as well, constantly rotating, causing defenders to have to think rather than being fixed on one player to mark. That's the biggest thing. I know against PSG, we managed to wrap that up and prevent them from, using that fluid front three to cause us problems. But with this front three in particular, because they can all play in the 10, Kudus can play on the right, Xavi can play on the left, they can all work across this front line. You could see them just maneuvering, causing players problems. And
did he
Basuma's
go?
not even...
Did he end up going, or did the
No,
move get?
Basuma's still, I believe they're still trying to work a move for him. I think they're trying to work a move for him to go Saudi or Turkey or something, innit? Because he weren't included in the Champions League squad. I don't think he's going to be included in any Premier League squads, and he won't be worked back into the team. Thomas Frank, don't rate him, and Thomas Frank is at that point where he's given up on him. Like he's not playing around with no more Basuma rubbish. I think he's done. He's done with that guy. So don't blame him. Don't blame him at all. Basuma is rubbed. Absolute finished guy. But what are you saying for the hopes of the Champions League? Because I'm sure you saw the Champions League draw. What's your thoughts?
Mate, I got that shit. Listen. Villarreal, September the 16th. Yeah. Champions League nights at the Lane. Boy, I can't lie, bro. I'm so excited. I love Champions League football. Like, even when we weren't in it, I was excited for it to start. So the fact that I get to watch this now, and I'm gonna be at a lot of the games, bro. I really hope we can put a run together in this competition. And I say, if we get past the round of 16, we have to aim to win it. We have to aim to win it, bro. You can't sell me a dream like that, bro. But looking at the squad, I've got confidence that we can get through. I'd say we've got a fairly light draw. There's some games in there that they're not games that I sit there and say, oh, I'm afraid. They're Dr. Tottenham games, if that makes sense. Do you know what I'm saying? Right. They're games that Dr. Tottenham tends to, you get me? You don't even hear my man enter the stadium, bro. You just see bro in the corner, Dr. Tottenham and that with his COVID mask on and his magic wand, bro, ready to make us lose 2-1 to Slavia Prague and that. So yeah, I do have that fear, yeah, but overall, I'm confident. And I say every Spurs fan should be confident. Listen, Tottenham fans, don't let rivals, try and dictate how you feel about your football club, bro.
Yeah.
You should be confident. Until you have a reason to have your confidence stripped from you, bro. You should be confident going into this. Go into this with your chest high, bro. And, I believe we're going to have a good run in all of the competitions that we're in. Do you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, Jords, but I can't lie, I'm excited. The squad, I'm happy with the squad. I'm happy with the draw. It's a shame Basuma got talent. Do you know what he does? But it's also a shame he does balloons. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's his own fault. You can have all the talent in the world, bro, but if you've got no discipline, you end up like what's his name? Was it Dembele and that? Ndombele, that's it.
And Ndombele, yeah.
You end up like Ndombele, bro. You don't want to end up like Ndombele, bro.
Yeah, you don't. You don't want to end up like Ndombele, people. Trust me. And where is he even playing right now? That'd be interesting to know. Where the heck is Ndombele playing?
I think he's in France. I think he's in the second tier of France.
He's playing for... Oh, no, he's playing for Nice. He's playing for Nice.
Okay, fair enough. Is he playing, though? That's the real question. Or is he in the squad?
Last season, he played 18 games, which is half of the season, I suppose. Probably had an injury, sad, but he's had bare clubs. Man was at Galatasaray, man was at Napoli, man was at Lyon after Tottenham as well. Bare different teams. My man's been around the houses. But
yeah, man. No, look. And George, like could have said, bro, I think it's a thing where people are. Hey, Richarlison said, bro, if Vinny doesn't win the Ballon d'Or, some shit's gonna go down. You know about the Richarlison theory?
Yeah. When he said it.
Hey, Richie. Hey.
Rodri got injured since then, Rodri's not been back. Man City's not been back.
Spurs won a trophy. Newcastle won a trophy. Levy left. There's so much stuff that's happened since Richie said those words. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, man. What can I say, bro? The Spurs boys, bro. The Spurs boys are cooking.
We're cooking right now. We're cooking, and things in the Spurs world are actually looking good. They're actually looking up. There's actually things to be happy about, people. But do you know what? Yeah, we still got another week before Spurs play, which just drags this out because man want to watch my team, bruv. Man want to watch my team. Man want to see what this is looking like. I'm trying to see Simone's in that Spurs jersey. Like, man's trying to see this all play out, but it's delaying right now. So we're still going to be going live. We're still going to be giving you guys updates. I said ask Richie to bless Jords' hairline. That's crazy stuff. My hairline. Do you know what? I'm trimless for nearly 2 months. So for my hairline to look this good at 2 months without a trim is all right. If I want to go and give myself a little trim, it'll be but don't worry. We need to ask the sponsors to come over here from Turkey. I'm open to a deal. I don't need one, but why not? Get a little top up in the corner, you know what I mean? Mention a little top up in the corners. That's all I need. Just a little, you know. But make sure you guys, on your way out. What's this? That's if Vinny doesn't win, shit is gonna go down. Yeah, that's Richarlison's little comment tweet, whatever the fuck it was. Funny, man. But why I'm gonna do, people, I'm gonna end it there. I'm going to send you guys over to Sean. Sean's live. You know, Mr. Levy apologist himself, the Levy sexual. Sean, I'm sure you guys want to have plenty of questions for him to ask him what's going on in his mind, because I'm sure this isn't something great going on, because he loved Levy. He's got that picture of Levy cuddling him. I don't know if you saw that. Yeah, have you seen that picture on Twitter? Or the AI thing of like Levy cuddling him? And I saw there was one picture, it got released, of like Bentancur or someone was looking at it on their phone. Like they were on the bus. Why am I seeing they've released the picture on the team bus, and on Bentancur's phone I just see the picture of fucking Sean cuddling Levy, and I'm like, man said even the players are seeing this shit.
Hey, Romero must be laughing right now. Romero's so happy, bro.
Hey, nah, he must be for real. He must be.
Hey, Harry, Sonny, come back, bro. Come back.
Harry might come back for real. Harry might really come back next year.
Bro. Harry.
But look, people, drop a DRD raid in the chat when you go over to Sean's channel. Make sure you drop a like on your way out over here. Make sure you're subscribing to the boy Jay from the Cave live. When are you next live, bro?
We're live tomorrow, actually. We're just going to be talking some Spurs, talking about the Levy stuff, talking about potential ownership change as well. Going to be rattling the rival fans, man. So stay tuned for that. Got a video coming out as well, a little uploaded video as well. So yeah, man, just you lot know where to find me. We're about to hit 1.2k as well. So subscribe, people.
Come on, man. Everyone's part of the 1K crew now. It's mad. I'm used to saying, yo, let's get everyone up to 1K. But now everybody's part of the 1K crew. You know what I mean? So make sure you're subscribing. Make sure you're supporting. Let's get Jay up to 1.2. Myself, make sure you guys are scanning the QR code below me to get involved in some of the match bingo special offers that they have for this international break. Make sure when you do download, use the promo code DRD. You already know what it is. But look, until next time, people, it's your boy Jords, and we are out.